Hello you guys, and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to do something a little bit different, something we haven't done in a long time. So I'm going to walk you through a full body mobility routine. It's going to be follow along. It's going to be a couple of minutes long, and you don't need any equipment. I'm going to do it in my socks, so you can do it barefoot, in your socks, in your shoes, whatever you're comfortable with. This is going to be perfect for a little stretching routine first thing in the morning, something you can do on your lunch break, something you can do right before bed, or it can even be used as a warm-up for a full body workout, a functional workout before a run, whatever it may be. Before we jump in, I just want to mention that today's video is sponsored by Gymshark. So I am wearing a set from their recently dropped collection, Gains. This is the Gains Seamless Crop Top and Gains Seamless Shorts. Both are in the color black, both are size small, and I just want to remind you that you can use my code for an extra 10% off everything that's on the website, including new releases and sales, and my code is going to be Vicky10, VICKY 10. So we're gonna jump right in. Make yourselves ready. Like I said, you don't need anything. If you do have a yoga mat, if you prefer to use a yoga mat, of course you can do that. So we're gonna start nice and easy. We're gonna start with the 10 backward circles. Keep them nice and straight without hyperextending your elbows if possible. So at the top part of the motion, you're gonna shrug your shoulders a bit towards your ears, and at the bottom portion of the movement, you're gonna relax them down. So we're gonna do 3 more. Try not to control the movement too much, but also try not to just send your arms backward aimlessly. So everything, we're gonna go for 10 forward. Everything today has to be intentional. So whenever in doubt, you can slow down the movement. Feel free to pause the video if you need. 4, we're gonna do 6 more. Perfect. These exercises, some of them are going to appear easy to you. If that's the case, even better. All the more reason to keep doing it so that they keep being easy as time goes by and as we age. If they're not easy, like I said, feel free to pause and work on the movement before moving forward if I am going too fast for you. If, however, I'm going too slow for you, all of the details are going to be in the caption, so feel free to just follow the workout at your own pace. Once this is done, we're gonna go for some open gates. So you're gonna bring your knee up and then slowly rotate out. We're gonna do 10, so 5 per side. Here, if you need to hold on to something, you can do that for the balance, but what you want to do is you want to bring your knee as high as you can so that we actually get to work on that hip joint, because if you keep it low, you're not going to feel much in terms of hip rotation. So bring it as high as you can, rotate it out, and then switch sides. We have 4 more left. Now today we're doing this very slow. If you were to warm up for something very dynamic like soccer, like a run, you might see people do this much faster, which is also okay. Like I said, today our goal is really to just slow down and feel everything. Take the time to work on each joint separately. Perfect. Once you've done 10, you can join me in this hip width position. So we're going to widen our stance just a little bit. I like to do hands behind my head. You can keep them wherever. We're gonna go for a couple of good mornings. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna start with your knees already bent a little bit, and they're gonna stay that way. So as you hinge back, your knees remain bent, and as you bring your hips forward, they stay in that same position. So everything happens at the hip level. You're gonna send your hips back as if there was a wall or a door behind you that you're trying to touch with your glutes, and then you're going to come forward. This is very similar to a hip thrust movement. So this is going to be, we're at the bottom of your hip thrust, and then we're slowly bringing our hips forward until we're in that locked in position. So we're gonna do 10 of these. I believe this is number 5. I'm gonna lose count quite a few times, so bear with me. We're gonna do 5 more. So when you're at the bottom portion of this, you're probably gonna feel a little bit of a stretch on your hamstrings, maybe a stretch on your glutes, depending on how low you go. It's possible you also feel it behind your calves. We're gonna do one last one. So hinge back and then bring it forward. From here, we're gonna go down into 10 deep squats. So you're going to go as low as you can with your heels on the ground and then stand up. So we're just pausing for a second at the bottom here and then standing up. Try to have your heels grounded the entire time if possible. If not, maybe you want to place a plate or a book or anything underneath your heels just to make it a little bit easier on you if you don't have that ankle dorsiflexion yet. If not, if you don't have any of that available, you can also just practice going as low as you can with your heels down and then back up. If you're not able to go all the way down, this is going to be a little bit more demanding on your muscles because it's going to require more quad endurance, more glute endurance. So it's possible you get tired quicker. And we're gonna do 3 last ones. So number 7, or should I say 8, number 9, and on the last one, we're gonna stay down. So number 10. Now we're gonna combine the 2 things we just did together. So you can hold on to the ground, you can hold on to your feet, to your ankles. If you hold on to your ankles, try to have your arms inside. If you have your arms outside, it makes your knees cave in and pushes them in this position over here. We want them, if anything, to be either straight out or a little bit towards the outside. So I'm going to go hands on my feet, and from here, you're going to slowly just extend your hips as much as you can, and then back down. Now, how straight your legs are is going to depend mainly on your flexibility. It's okay if you keep a slight bend in the knee, and we're alternating like this between our deep squat and a hamstring stretch or a forward fold. Good. We're gonna do 5 of each, so a total of 10. This is going to be number 3 or 4. Let's do 2 more. So number 4 up, 4 down, and 1 more time. 5 up, 5 down. Now this is the part where if you've been doing half squats, you're probably very tired. So I'm gonna give you 2 variations. If you have your deep squat and you're comfortable in it, we're going to do T-spine rotations in it. If, however, you were doing half squats and your legs are dead, we're going to do a split stance T-spine rotation. So with your legs wide, you're gonna put one hand in the middle, one hand up, bring your arm down and up 5 times. If you are in that deep squat position, we're gonna alternate sides. So you're gonna bring one arm up. I have my opposite arm on my ankle, and then I'm going to sneak this arm in on my ankle and bring the other one up. So we're alternating T-spine rotations. You wanna bring this arm over the midline of your body. So somewhere over the middle, you don't want it too far out. We want it rather straight as well. So this is going to be 4. We're doing a total of 10. If you're in your split stance, like I said, you can do 5 back to back on one side, then the other, or you can do 10 alternating as well. Perfect. We're gonna do 1 more time per side after this. So this is going to be number 9 and number 10. I'm gonna give you guys a second to catch up. Feel free to pause for an extra second when you hit those movements than me. So if you wanna hold your T-spines for 2-3 seconds, that's fine too. If you're doing this as a warm up for a workout, try not to make it too static, so you don't wanna hold your positions for 15-20 seconds. But if you're doing it as just a stretching routine, that's totally fine. So what we're gonna do next, with your hands on the ground, you're gonna bring your legs back out into a high plank position. And from here, we're gonna go into a loaded beast. It's kind of like a child's pose, except your knees are going to be off the floor. And then you're going to bring one leg back with you into this lizard pose here. So in your lizard pose, we're gonna go other side. So loaded beast, lizard pose. In your lizard pose, you wanna have your foot as close to your hand as possible. And then that back leg is going to be sort of straight with the knee slightly bent and off the floor. So we're gonna do 10 alternating of this. This is going to be number 4. In that loaded beast, you're basically in a deep squat position. So loaded beast is a very good way to practice for your deep squat because your heels are off the ground. So you can focus not necessarily on the ankle dorsiflexion, but on the positioning of the knees, the flexibility required to stay in a deep squat, and so on. So this is a great exercise. You could just do it going into planks or do it holding as well. Perfect. We're gonna do 1 more time per side. So this is going to be number 9. Hold, like I said, everything for a second or so, and then other side, number 10. From here, you're going to put that back knee down. You can even have your foot flat or your toes curled, whatever feels good. We're gonna take that inside arm. You can place it behind your neck if you want, behind your head. We're gonna bring the elbow to the ground, and then we're gonna stack the elbow on top of the other arm. So we're gonna call this thread the needle. We're gonna do it 5 times. So it's okay if your back rounds a little bit here. We are trying to reach all the way down, and then we're trying to stack all the way on top. This is very similar to a T-spine rotation. It's like a mix between that and chest openers. So 3, We're gonna do 2 more, 4, and last one, 5. Perfect. We're gonna switch sides, so you're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side, so elbow down, and then stack on top. 2, it's okay if your hand doesn't touch your head, but you also don't want it to be too far out, otherwise you're missing on some of the range of motion. So you really want to bring your upper body as low as you can, then you really want to stack your shoulders one on top of the other as much as possible. 3, if you do have a mirror, mirrors can be a great tool to work on mobility, because sometimes we feel like we're doing something, we feel like we're aligned, we feel like we got it, and then when you're able to look at yourself in the mirror, it's much easier to determine what you need to change to get that perfect form. When you guys are ready, you're gonna meet me in a kneeling position. What we're gonna do here is you're gonna put your wrists very close to your knees at first, and with your butt sitting on your heels if possible. We're gonna start like that, and we're going to rock forward until you feel a stretch in your wrists, and then rock back. So you want to keep your wrists grounded on the ground. If you can only go so far, that's okay. I would rather that than you go helping yourself out and going further out. So just stretch as far forward as you can and back. Once again, try to be mindful not to hyperextend your elbows. It's just good practice to avoid that, and it protects your joint. If you're, however, very flexible, my elbows are very flexible, so sometimes I do it without even noticing, and this is something that I can fix and that I'm able to see very well when I film, when I have mirrors. So like I said, mirrors can be a great tool to correct yourself once you start knowing what to look out for. We're doing this 10 times. Let's say we're at 4, 5. One of the reasons I don't do more talking videos is I can talk so much. I ramble, I go on and on, I switch topics, I go off topic. So I try to avoid filming talking videos because, first of all, my storage cannot handle. I don't have the capacity to edit hours and hours of footage just to end up posting a 3-minute video. And I'm also not even sure that anyone would be interested to hear me talk for so long. So that is one of the reasons why I try to avoid doing mic'd up workouts, because I feel like halfway through the workout, I just zone out, forget what I was doing, and then start chatting about something else. And the pre-workout wears off, and it's just a whole mess. So once you're done this, what we're gonna do is we're gonna curl your toes, and this is where I'm gonna give you 2 variations. If you're unable to go into your deep squat yet, you're just gonna practice the curling the toes movement. So you're gonna stay here, and you're gonna go toes flat, body forward, toes curled, sit back, okay? And you're gonna hold each position for a couple of seconds, while the others, if you're able to go into your deep squat, you're gonna keep the toes curled at all times. And what we're gonna do, you're gonna, maybe for the first one, you need to give yourself a push off, maybe you need some momentum, but you're gonna bring yourself into that deep squat position again, and slowly we're gonna rock forward and touch your knees on the ground, gently. And again, so rock back, this is what I call squat rocks, and gently rock forward. We're only gonna do 5 of these. So if you can't, like I said, just practice the toes flat, toes curled. If you can do this, we're gonna do the squat rocks with both knees. 4, because you could also do this 1 knee at a time. And 5. One last thing for today, we're gonna go down dog to cobra. It's a nice way to finish because it's almost like a stretch. So hands down and then your feet far out. You wanna form a V with your body, so you want your butt as high as possible. You want your arms sort of aligned with your back. You want your legs with just a slight bend. And then we're going to come forward until your hips hit the ground and hit a cobra position for a couple of seconds. And from here, we're just gonna go back up into a down dog. If the cobra position is too hard for you, it's a little bit annoying, but what you're gonna do, you're gonna go down into half cobra instead. What's annoying is just that the setup is just not as seamless. It doesn't flow as nicely, but it's a nice way to practice the cobra. If you have lower back problems, if it's just too much of a stretch for you, feel free to do half cobra instead, or I know we also call it sphinx. If not, you're just gonna do your regular cobra. And we're gonna do 5 of each, so a total of 10. I think this was number 6, so this is gonna be 7. I feel like I'm gonna rewatch this and the counts are just going to be completely off, so please bear with me, I haven't done this in a minute. And one last one, so number 9 for the down dog, and number 10 for the cobra. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, I have a couple of others already available on my channel. Some full body, some lower body, some upper body. Also follow along mobility routines. And just a reminder that today's video was sponsored by Gymshark, and you can use my code for an extra 10% off everything. My code is going to be Vicky10, VICKY10. Thank you, and have yourselves a great day.